Hey Jackie, Auntie, Jackie, you ready? When the clouds roll.
Everything that God allows to come our way is always with a purpose. He uses even the greatest error and deepest pain to mold us into a better person. So let us continue our discussion on what is inflamed in our bodies, part two. I am so excited to continue this conversation on what is inflamed in our bodies. The previous video, I shared a little bit about the beginning of my journey in reference to change in my lifestyle. And as I began to continue this journey, I discovered that these changes had impacted my body. I was beginning to have experiences. I started sweating more. I felt a little bit nauseous. I was constantly sneezing. And there was even times when I was bringing up mucus. And if I could be honest, it felt a little bit scary. And I found myself kind of wondering what is happening. But as I continued to listen to this doctor that I had been following, I realized that my body was detoxing. So these uncomfortable reactions were just my body's way of releasing all the toxins that had been holding on to, all of them that I had been holding on to. It was a natural part of the process. And it got me thinking, what if this happens in other areas of our lives too? In life, we may be detoxing, we may be experiencing growing pains. So you see, just like our bodies go through detox, we can experience the same thing in our life. When we're growing and taking risks, we're setting boundaries, or even stepping into new roles and relationships, it can feel a little bit messy. It's uncomfortable. We might even feel like we're losing some relationships and friendships along the way. We might find ourselves in unfamiliar situations where we feel a little bit out of place. But here's the thing, discomfort, it doesn't mean that something's gone wrong. Sometimes it just means that things are exactly going right. Just like my body was flushing out, toxins, our lives do the same thing. When we start living with more intention, pushing ourselves to grow, or even standing up for what we need. And it's okay to ask yourself, well, what does this look like for me? How do I apply this in my life? Growth, whether it's in your health or your career or relationships, often comes with a little bit of discomfort. But that discomfort, it doesn't last forever. So we can begin to reflect on the seasons as we're growing, because in every season in our lives, whether it's easy or whether it's challenging, it teaches us something. We begin to discover things about ourselves, about the people around us. We discover things about the situation, and we even discover things about God. So I believe that every season, it's an opportunity to reflect, to listen, and to grow. And honestly, it's in those uncomfortable moments when we're shedding the old that we find our strength. I don't know if you ever experienced a season where it felt like everything was out of control. Maybe you were losing touch with people, or you just didn't feel like you fit in anywhere anymore. It's tempting to wonder, what's wrong with me? But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a sign that you're evolving. It's a sign that you're moving forward. And sometimes that means leaving certain things behind. Wow. And relationships can be really, really powerful. And there's one type of relationship that supersedes any type of relationship that we could have. And that would be having a relationship with our Heavenly Father. So for me, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in all of this, that the key to staying grounded through these tough transitions in my relationships or through these tough transitions during my journey was that my relationship with God. You see, I believe that God, He doesn't just want us to show up at church or check up all of our spiritual boxes. He wants a real, living, vibrant relationship with us. And it's out of that relationship that everything else flows. So I used to think that it was all about doing more, serving more, giving more, attending every event. But that's not all it's about. It's also about developing that personal connection with our Heavenly Father so that when people begin to ask me, how are you doing these things? How are you staying grounded when life gets crazy? I can tell them that it's through my relationship with my Heavenly Father. It's not something that I can do on my own, but I have to rely on Him. And honestly, that relationship is what has carried me through every tough season. Now, you hear us talking about being in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter of the year, and so many of us are already starting to think about the next year. We're starting to set goals, believing for better things. Before we can rush into the next, I want to encourage you to slow down and really ask yourself, what is inflamed in my life right now? What areas feel raw or uncomfortable? Because the truth is, we can't move forward into the new season or even to the next season without addressing what's going on in the present season. So maybe you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, or maybe things, are changing in ways that you didn't expect, or maybe you're just tired. And that's okay. It's okay to feel all of that, but don't lose sight of the fact that the discomfort can lead to incredible growth if we let it. So I want to take a moment just to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone. I'm sharing all of this because I've been there. I'm not a medical professional or even a life expert. I'm just someone on a journey. And I wanted to give you a peek into my story with the hopes that it encourages you on your own. There's so much inside of you, so much potential waiting to be unlocked. But the reality is, we can't do it alone, and we weren't meant to. So, whether it's your health, relationships, or even your spiritual growth, we need support from our Heavenly Father as well as each other. And sometimes even from professionals who can help guide us. So if you're feeling inflamed, whether physically or even emotionally, don't see it as a setback. See it as a signal. It might be uncomfortable for now, but it's leading to something so much greater. So in closing, I want you to begin to think about your own journey. I want to leave you with this. What is inflamed in your life right now? And how can you begin to address it? Whether it's letting go of toxic patterns, setting new boundaries, or even deepening your relationship with your Heavenly Father. Trust that this discomfort, it's temporary. On the other side of it, it's growth, healing, and a stronger and more fulfilled life. So I hope this conversation has been valuable to you. I hope it has resonated with you in some way. And I want you to let me know what's been inflamed in your life lately and how you've been navigating. And remember, you're not on this journey alone.